Okay, so on to John Stuart Mill as the next one of our key thinkers for this course. He's regarded as one of the greatest of English philosophers and has made a sort of great contribution to liberal thought. He was a son of a utilitarian philosopher, and he was more than an intellectual because at varying points in his life he was also a politician, a Liberal MP, and a campaigner for various causes, and a civil servant. And what's interesting about Mill is that he also provides a bridge between classical and modern liberalism, as we'll see. So, what are his key ideas? Well, one of his key ideas, of course, is the whole idea of negative freedom, the absence of restraint on your actions, which connected through to the harm principle. Which is one of his key ideas that we've come across before. So if you have a look at this little chart here, you can see he believes that individuals are sovereign entities. So we're back to our focus on individualism, which we expect from a liberal thinker. And individuals use their free will to engage in self-regarding actions. So this term self-regarding actions means things that benefit us as individuals that we should be allowed to do, like religious worship or expressing our personal views, and those things do not impinge on other people. So they do not affect the liberty of other people, and therefore we should be allowed to do those things. And the state should only intervene if our actions impinge on the freedom or harm others. So the other type of action, apart from self-regarding action, is other regarding actions, and those might involve violent behaviour or some kind of behaviour that would harm the freedom of others, and that should not be tolerated. And in that case, of course, the state could actually get involved. He's also very big on tolerance. Why should we tolerate such a range of ideas? Well, we should tolerate all kinds of lifestyles, religious beliefs and cultures and so on, because it's very good for us and it's very good for society. If we look at our top point here on the chart, he talked about the despotism of custom. So this idea that everybody thinks and talks the same way because it's the custom to do it. We should be really wary of doing that. We need to actually have experiments in living to allow us to live to the full. And the more we're exposed to the views and the ideas of a whole range of different people, and the more we debate and think about all those ideas, the better it's going to be. And actually, going to our last point here, the more we debate and discuss, the more we have free speech, we can actually expose bad ideas, and they'll be exposed by rational, open debate, not by shutting those ideas down, but by actually debating them in the open. What are his other contributions? Well, one thing we should say about him is that he was very fearful of mob rule and the idea of the tyranny of the majority that we have talked about before. So he was very wary of universal suffrage. He actually argued that the franchise should be based on an educational qualification, although he did actually support the vote for women, and he campaigned for this. Indeed, his life was actually very unconventional in lots of ways. He lived for 21 years with the love of his life, Harriet Taylor, with her and her first husband, actually only marrying her after the first husband died. He also spent a night in jail because one of his other campaigns was to advise women on contraception. And of course, contraception was not allowed in Victorian England. I mentioned this at the beginning. He extended the ideas of classical liberalism, seeing liberty not just as a natural right and end in itself, but as the way to develop for ongoing human development. And that's what we've come across, that term developmental individualism, which he was keen on. And towards the end of his life, he was also arguing that the state should actually do more and should tackle social problems. So again, we're seeing there a shift to modern liberalism. Some great quotes here that you'll be able to look at on the PowerPoint afterwards. I've put in italics a couple of points that I think are quite good and my favourites. So the second one there, he who knows only his side of the case knows a little of that. So you should always know all points of view. And another one there at the bottom, going back to the idea of custom, those who are slaves to custom will never develop into rounded, flourishing individuals. So you should be exposing yourself to different ideas, different views, and allowing yourself to sort of think in new ways. Right, a couple of videos for you there to watch. One on the harm principle, one is slightly longer. And do any extra research that you need to do about John Stuart Mill on the internet. Have a look in your booklet and then complete the notes in your booklet on John Stuart Mill. Okay.